Welcome back, guys. This is the Champions Chambers podcast,
Oh,
the number one
yeah.
podcast for young men, for financial individuals, and people on a self development journey. You know, we're here to give y'all the advices that we learned from, and let's get to it. Let's start it off with Namdi. What you got going?
Okay. Welcome, guys, to the second podcast of the year. And how I wanted to start it is with Andrew Tate's jail letter number 21. And so this is kind of going to be the first topic that we're going to all discuss on. We're going to first give our own feedback on it, what we think of the letter, how we can utilize it in our own lives, and the comparison between this letter and how society deems emotions, which is what this letter is talking about. Let me share my screen. All right. Can y'all see my mouse?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Lesson from jail number 21. We all have our favorite emotions, the ones we default to and seek. This is why junkies are junkies, why athletes are athletes, why winners win and losers lose. Everybody wants that familiar feeling, whether it's a good feeling or a bad one. My default feeling is proud. I enjoy feeling better than everyone around me with undeniable empirical evidence. Hottest girl, strongest team, iron minded, whatever. I love to flex. Searching for my favorite feeling has built me an exceptional life. It's forced me to make something I can be proud of. What's your feeling? If it is happy, that's just as destructive as sad. And trust me, so many people want to feel sad, perpetual victims. But happiness is the hedonistic highway to addictions, short sighted. Drink this vodka, take this pill, eat that cake. I want to feel happy. Yay. Society has conditioned men to believe we should be happy. We are not children. Life is not a playground. There's something wrong with you if you're not happy. Wrong. I know successful, dedicated, brilliant men who are not giggling like little girls. Fuck happy. Chase more. Be more. Be great. Tate.
Beautiful stuff.
Damn. How do you
First thing
feel
I want
about
to
that,
ask.
Namdi?
And
Oh, go
so
ahead.
I guess I'll start it off. I definitely think this is a great email, great piece of copy. And it talks about how what is your default feeling? What's a default feeling that you can fall back on that'll lead you to greatness? And before we even started recording, I said accomplishment. I always love the feeling of accomplishing something, no matter what it is, whether if it's taking a cold shower first thing in the morning, whether it's doing my stretch session first thing in the morning, whether it's working out, that feeling of accomplishment, right? Even though you did not want to do that specific thing in the first place, that feeling of actually accomplishing it is the best feeling I could probably ever link my life to ever, right? And so I would like that to be my default feeling is accomplishment, you know? And it's not, I don't think it's linked to happiness because some people can accomplish doing bad things, right? So I think that for me, my default feeling would be accomplishment or whatever feeling is linked to accomplishment or achievement.
Yeah, that's dope. I think for me, my default feeling would probably be extreme competence. I like being good at things that I'm doing. Like everything I'm trying to do, I want to be the greatest, And I want to feel like I'm better at somebody else at the thing I'm doing, no matter what it is. So if we're in the classroom, we take a test, I want the highest grade. If we're on the basketball court, I want most of the points. I want most of the assists. I want most of the rebounds. I want to be able to jump the highest. If we're in the weight room, I want to be able to push the most weight. I don't care if it's 5 pounds more, 10 pounds more, 50 pounds more. I want to be able to do more than anybody else. I want to be able to do better than anybody else. That's what makes me feel like myself. Straight confidence.
Like that. Uh,
I
yeah, you can go.
I was gonna say for me, I guess the feeling that I feel the most, and it's kind of weird when I say it, is it's probably gonna be in a sense like knowing that what you're going through right now is tough, like feeling you know, that it's hard on you. I don't know how to put it into one single word, but like the sense of failure, but knowing that this failure is good for me and I'm gonna overcome it.
So you like that feeling of adversity?
Adversity, there we go. That's the perfect word. Just because people will go through adversity and really not understand the whole reason why they went through it. And with me, especially now, learning and on the self-development journey, I just cannot see my life without adversity. I like if everything's pretty calm, I'm just it's uneasy, you know, like I need to feel something to keep me going. And I know with that feeling of adversity, like I'm overcoming something and I'm gonna push forward. So adversity is my word or the feeling.
Yeah, that's clean.
Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Personally, this kind of relates to the topic that I was going to discuss upon and with my podcast notes. But because I figured this out this week, I can't really narrow it down to one single emotion that I would be able to say is my favorite emotion. Primarily because this week I wanted to talk about how the need for balance and the need for having variety in your life. Um, what this Tate email is obviously saying, which a lot of viewers, if they're younger, they might not understand. And to the naive eye, this might seem like this email is saying you can't be happy and that happiness is just purely evil, which isn't true, obviously. Happiness isn't a bad emotion, but too much happiness is bad, which is why I can't narrow it down to a single emotion, because too much of anything is bad. It goes over to that yin and yang concept. There has to be balance. So personally, I won't be able to narrow it down to one emotion, but if I were to choose anything, it would just have to be peace, because when you're at peace, you can't there's no uneasiness to be felt. So I have it written down right here on my desk: prosperity, wealth, success, and peace. If I were to narrow it down to anything, it would just be peace. That's the only way that I can see me being happy, or I guess not happy, but just content with my life for a long period of time, is to have peace. You can't have too much of it. I feel like you can't have too little of it. It's the one thing that's cool with me.
Nice.
And for the most part with balance is at a young age, especially for people that are younger than us, that they're not going to know what really balance is or what work life balance is. They only know their school, and then I guess if they're into sports or any studying, that's the only thing they're going through at the moment. But once you get older, you realize, okay, there's more responsibility that you have to take upon as a man, especially too, because we all start from a level that nobody knows us. Nobody knows us. And in order to build ourselves up to a status that, okay, we have some credibility and people respect us in a sense, we have to find that balance of, okay, at this moment, it can't be all peace. I can't just be happy. I can't just be, lollygagging and just drinking and going to parties and doing that, because that's not going to do anything for me later on in life. I'm just setting myself back.
Mm.
A lot of
So
us,
go ahead.
I was just going to say, a lot of us just got to come to a realization that growing older, you have more responsibilities. You're not a kid no more. You got to be grown. You got to be growing up, man. You can't be partying all this time no more. You got to think about your family in the future, in a example you're going to set for yourself, for your kids.
Yeah. I wanted to ask, since we're talking about balance, like, what is the type of balance that you guys have in y'all's individual lives? So, like, how do you guys balance your work from your pleasure, your learning from your entertainment? Is there any balance? Is it all on one side of the spectrum? How do you guys balance y'all's time and lives?
I guess how it has been is that how I see balance is that the thing is that there always is going to be some sort of sway, you know? It's not always going to be 50-50. It's usually not the case. You're going to be doing more of one thing than the other, and it's going to be a slight little difference. But how I would want it for me is that I would want work to oversee everything else, because I feel like being young, we're obligated to work. You know, we have unlimited energy, and especially as being men, I feel like we should be doing expending our energy to things that will lead to some sort of benefit, right? And of course, yeah, there's the parties, there's the drugs, there's the girls, etc. But it's like that's always going to be there, right? The work gives you opportunity, and opportunity usually is fleeting, right? You only have one chance to make a certain decision, right? And if you end up not taking that chance because you instead want to go out with your friends or go take a break and go watch Netflix, then you've missed that opportunity. And that opportunity could have changed your life for the better, right? And so I would rather have my work oversee, you know, work. And of course, because if we're going to be talking about specifics, you have life, you have your spirituality, you have your mental health, etc. All that is equally important. But that's pretty much the foundation, right? Is all that the mental health, the spiritual health, the family, the relationships, etc. And then you also have what you're doing on the other side, whatever it's if it's something that is going to give you some sort of financial gain, it's going to extend your knowledge on something. I feel like that should be put focused on because I put a text in the group chat how this is something that I had heard from. This wasn't something directly from me, but sleep is work, training is work, eating is work. You must treat everything as a professional because success is inevitable, right? And that's how, and I think that's true, 100%. I feel like you should put some sort of professionalism in all the things that you do. But for me personally, the balance, I think, will be swayed. It won't always be 50-50. And you won't even know how it would be 50-50 because you can't quantify it properly, right? You
Hmm.
can't, it's not numbers, it's actions, you know?
Mhm.
I think for me personally, how balance works, I do, like you said, it's gonna be swaying. It's almost like the vibration is gonna be here like that. That's almost how I see it. It's always gonna be moving and adjusting. It's just since it's always moving and adjusting, it's what are gonna be things that are on each side of, I guess, the spectrum. So how are you working, and then how are you, I guess, relaxing? So if your work revolves around just school and going to your job, okay, that's your work. So then what are you doing on this side of the spectrum when it comes to your leisure? Are you spending that smoking, drinking all the time, going out every weekend, just nonsense? Or are you spending it with people that you actually care about? So yesterday was a big day for, I guess, our whole friend group, like our apartment, us four guys, me, Jawan, Josh, and Keenan. We spent the day together, and we haven't done that in a while, like since I guess sophomore year of college. And that was probably more fulfilling than me sitting down watching entertainment all day. We went to the field, we got some workout. We had we played around on the field, but it could be seen as a workout. Then we went go karts, golf, putt golf. I think we just had fun together, embraced each other's relationship, joked around. Like it has to be a certain way that you have your balance because you can't try and balance out great work with extreme nonsense because it's not gonna that's not gonna balance it out. You can't work from Monday to Friday hard as hell and then waste it, just squander all the results that you made that week on the weekend. It has to be some sort of productive uh uh character building type of leisure. It has to be spent with family and friends. You need to, embrace your humanity with the people around you. That's how I kind of see balance. You can't waste your leisure with nonsense.
Agreed.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, also, not all entertainment has to be, I guess, entertainment where regarding with doing something that's like typical to be entertainment. Entertainment could be something that you enjoy as a hobby or as a hobby that you could grow into something to become bigger. And a lot of times that's what happens to a lot of people that have these businesses that they grew from the ground up. Is it was a hobby, and then they were just doing it for fun, and then people were like, "Oh, hey, you should sell these," and they were like, "Oh yeah, maybe I should," and they started growing and growing and growing. A lot of the time, you don't have to, in a sense, think of entertainment as, I guess,
Negative.
playing football or doing going to parties or other things that you need somebody else. You could probably just do hobbies as in making art if you like to draw. Um, what else could it be? I guess look researching in history. If you're into history, look into history. Like, oh, let's see how they do it, and then with that in mind, you have that knowledge in the future regarding with if you want to start a YouTube channel or if you want to maybe be substitute and later on and just teach for a side hustle or just to teach people in general. So that's what I see. Just
It's
not
subjective
necessarily
entertainment.
not necessarily just look at entertainment just like the normal things, but see what you like to do and use that as entertainment, you know?
Yeah. Everybody's gonna have a different, like I said, it's subjective. Everybody's gonna have a different type of entertainment that they can find. That's a good point, yeah. Josh, what do you think?
In terms of regards to balance,
Yeah, balance.
um, I guess it could relate back to peace. So when I say, man, the emotion that I would want to carry on if I were to choose one would be peace. I think peace encapsulates everything because truly, I don't think peace is just having fun. I don't see that as peace. I think peace is being fully content with the moment that you're in. Because the opposite of peace, what is the opposite of peace? That's dissatisfaction. You're internally dissatisfied. You want something to change. If I'm at the club, I could not be peaceful because I want something to change. I know I want them to change the music. I want them to do this. I want them to do that. Versus if I'm, working, quote unquote, like really hard, I could be at peace with that because I don't want anything to change. So I think peace encapsulates everything. I could be, you know, working 8 hours a day and be perfectly content with doing that. And I don't want anything to change. And I could go home and I could throw the football around with my little brother and be perfectly at peace with that. And that's balance. And I think that's why I chose peace, because you're able to, that just means that you're perfectly okay with the moment in which you reside. And once you're not okay with the moment in which you reside, that's when peace is disrupted. You're no longer at peace with what you're doing. You're no longer at peace within yourself. So when it comes to balance, I think it's just seeking peace, being at peace with whatever you're doing. Um, I think that's my opinion on it.
Okay, I'll offer you a question regarding that.
Okay.
If an individual who, in a sense, is wanting to be on the self-improvement journey, would you consider being in peace would be residing in your comfort zone? Because
Uh,
if you're okay with where you're at, then you're simply in your comfort zone, right?
right.
But if you are uncomfortable with where you're at, you are not okay with where you're at, but it is all in the name of traction, right? It's all in the name of traction, being able to improve yourself and understand where you're at so that you can learn from that experience.
Yeah, I think in response to that question, which was a great question, when it comes to somebody that wants to, if they're perfectly okay with themselves eating Cheetos all day and watching Netflix and they're at peace with that, then I guess that's them. But if there's something that they want to start their self-improvement journey, if they have that urge, that internal thing bugging them from inside that's saying, I want to change, if they are no longer at peace and they're going to do something to change in order to get peace. That's why every single one of us started this self-improvement journey, because we weren't at peace with with the circumstances that we were around. And what we're doing now is to perform actions to where we will be at peace with our circumstances. So if the person, I mean, I guess peace disruption is needed. So dissatisfaction is needed in order for change, but in the state of being dissatisfied, you're seeking satisfaction. So I don't think if somebody is just like I said before, being uh, a bum, I guess, then they're gosh, I forgot where I was going with this. But I think you guys get the concept. Did that answer your question?
But what did you think that satisfaction and peace kind of align with each other? Because if an individual
Yeah,
is
they
at peace
do.
with something, okay, so then again, if an individual is dissatisfied with something, that's all in the
Right.
sake of trying to find satisfaction in that. And if an
Yeah.
individual is not at peace in something, that's all in the name of trying to be at peace with that, right?
Is it repeat the last one that you
If
said?
I'm not at peace with the relationship that I'm currently in, hypothetically,
Yeah.
the end goal is to be at peace with it or to just eradicate it at the source and to leave the relationship, correct?
Right.
So my question is, I mean, just that's just an extension of just what I'm saying because you said dissatisfaction is in the name of being satisfied, right? And I don't think that we could ever really be satisfied as humans because as humans we always want more, right? We always want more of something, right? Even if you're a monk, you want more meditation hours. You want more rice bowls. I'm not a racist here. I'm in the man of the dojo down there. You know what I'm saying? So, but everybody wants more of something, right? And so I don't think anybody can truly be satisfied. Because if you're satisfied and you're content, then what is there to conquer? There's always something to conquer. There's always something to achieve on
I
a daily
do think,
basis.
I mean, after reading Tao Te Ching, I think there are people that are genuinely satisfied with the monks. If they're sitting on a mountain meditating for 48 hours before taking a break, I think within that 48 hours before they get hungry or whatever they do, I think that they're satisfied. Like they're just satisfied with existing, which is why they just sit there and breathe with their eyes closed for extremely long periods of time. And I think we can define that, collectively agree that that is, in their eyes, that's peace for them. I think that's peace for them. It might not be peace for us, but they're in a state of peace. They're in a state of just pure satisfaction of the state that they're being.
I don't know. I don't know if you saw the Hamza video regarding with business, his Mrs. Knife, I guess, where he
Yeah, I
talked
saw.
about the story, about the Mexican fisherman and the businessman.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys hear about that?
Yeah.
No.
So basically, a businessman was basically in vacation and he saw a Mexican fisherman just casting his, I guess, rod or the net. And as the businessman was seeing him catching those fish, he went up to him. He was like, "Hey, you get a lot of fish. Like you should start, selling it and start growing your business, start getting more money." He's like, "Okay, what else?" And then with that, you could hire people to do the work for you. You could hire more employees and, you know, um, grow more business, get more money in. And the fisherman said, "What else?" And then just kept going on and on, like basically scaling and scaling and scaling. And then until at the end, the businessman realized for all that work to be done, he'll be going back to right back where he is at, a nice, peaceful fisherman, just catching fish, at peace where he's at, providing food to his wife and his family, and doesn't feel any need to, you know, do anything else because he's at peace at that moment. He doesn't need to go out and do more and more and more. Because if he did the same thing, if he did the opposite, just scaling, 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 he would have gone back to the same point to do all of this so he could spend more time with his family. But at the same time, he wasted all that time just thinking about scaling, scaling, scaling. And at that point in time, that guy was at peace. Like he didn't need anything to change. He didn't need to think about I need more money. And us, we're not gonna tell him, oh, don't do that because he's at peace at the moment. He's living his life at the moment at peace. And that might not be our life, but that's his life. He's comfortable like that. He's fine like that. And he's doing good.
I think that the term peace is truly subjective for everybody. Not like as Josh said, not everybody's peace will be the same. And that story kind of ties in with a conversation I had with my friend a year and a half ago. And this friend of mine, he's an extremely intelligent individual. You know, he knows a lot about history, a lot about philosophy, but he stays at home, smokes weed, watches movies, plays games all the time, right? So he's not utilizing his brain in a way in which that he can take opportunity and share the information that he knows with other people. And so I told him like, yo, you should start a YouTube channel, a history YouTube channel, or a philosophical YouTube channel, and do short form content relating to some sort of topic in philosophy and make it fun and entertaining for people to watch and also learn, right? And he was like, yeah, but, and as soon as I heard but, I knew that it was not going to happen, right? And I guess in a way in which, relating to the story that you provided, Jose, that he's at peace, right? Even though he's smoking, eating junk, going to the gas station, drinking beer, playing video games, he's still at peace, right? But in a way in which how I see it, and I think that's just how I've been brought up, is that how I see peace is something that's positive for the individual, right? Something that brings some sort of benefit, something that brings some sort of positivity, something that doesn't degrade the individual, right? And playing video games hours and hours upon end, smoking hours and hours upon end can be pretty degrading over a period of time, right? So in a sense, is he really at peace if there's going to be a point in time in which that peace will be disrupted and life will force some sort of pathway for him because he hasn't voluntarily looked for peace disruption. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I think
I
it,
think-
like you said, it is subjective. I can let Med go. I think, yeah.
The way I see it is like, although it is subjective and it is for the time being, like the moment that you're in right now, sure you're at peace. But when it comes to what we're trying to do, which is growth, there's gonna be comes back to balance. There's gonna be an ebb and flow between peace and adversity or stressfulness. It's like if you want to grow, you're gonna have to peace is gonna have to go away. You're gonna have to grow. Then when you get to the level that you're comfortable at, you stay at peace. And then when you want to grow again, you let go of the peace. Now you're back to adversity, stress. It's self-inflicted. You want to grow. You get to another level. You're good for that moment in time. You stay at peace. Want to grow again. That's almost how I see it. And it's
I
almost
agree.
like the idea of success. How you go up and you're gonna go down. You're gonna go up. You're gonna go down. Right. You're gonna meet your failures. You're gonna have your successes, and that's how the path to success works. It's like you're gonna have wins and losses, and in those wins, you're gonna feel peaceful and comfortable, and you're gonna take that L, and then you're gonna have to face it, unless you want to stay at peace and keep on taking that L and keep on going down. That's almost how I see it. It's gonna ebb and flow. It's gonna be balanced, but like we said before, we cannot quantify. So you have to know, like, are you really at peace, or are you really going through something that's really like adverse to you? You know, it's
So that
how
means
that's how
peace.
I'm seeing it.
That means peace is really just up to the individual because, like you said, stay at peace and keep going down. Well, peace for an individual like Andrew Tate, we know obviously is very obsessive on growing. Like he was very obsessive when it came to growing his capital, growing his assets. So his peace might have been in that process of growing his assets. He's at peace with what he was doing, whereas the peace of Billy Bob Joe, whose peace is just eating McDonald's all day. That's his peace. So peace is really subjective. So I guess you have to
It
really
is subjective.
look at yourself internally and say, what is your peace? If
But
you're perfectly fine with watching TV all day, go ahead and watch it. But
yeah,
if there's something deep down within you saying this isn't okay, then you really need
But-
to find, yeah.
the word I should have emphasized when I was speaking was growth.
Yeah.
So if you want to grow, that's how the idea will work. That's how this will work with growth.
can look
It's
at it
going
in a-
upwards.
Yeah, you can look at it in an objective manner, right? Because how Tate sees peace is him growing and him evolving over a period of time. Because as humans, we're supposed to adapt, we're supposed to evolve, we're never supposed to stay still, we're never supposed to stay stagnant. that us as humans that cannot go. You know what I'm saying? Like look at 2020 for an example, lockdown. Oh yeah, hey, we're at home. 1 week goes by. All right, I'm trying to go to the fucking movies. I'm trying to go to the grocery store. I'm trying to do
Exactly.
niggas cannot stay still, right? And so
Cannot.
in a comparison with Joe Schmo and Tate and how Tate lives his life and how Tate evolves and makes money and learns new things, talks to new people every day. Joe, that's a trajectory that is up for him, right? So this is the objective sense of what I'm trying to bring it into. Tate's piece is he's trajected up, but Joe Schmo's piece he's trajected down. We can easily see that in an objective manner, knowing that what Joe Schmo does when he's at peace is degrading his body, his soul, his mind, and his physical prowess. Correct? But what Tate does, we can objectively see that he's making money every day. He's learning new things. He's meeting new people. He's traveling the world. So
All things that are
that's
positive.
exactly. So we could easily see that in an objective manner from the outside in. So regarding peace, peace is subjective, but the trajectory of where that peace will take you is objective, right? And that's that I believe in 100%.
It
So it's
it
got to be
almost goes
really
back
careful.
to the newsletter that he had. It's talking about people wanting to be sad. It's like for them, okay, them feeling sad is where they're at peace at. It's like that makes them. I don't know if I want to say feel good, but they like feeling sad. But objectively, that's a bad thing, you know. But for them, that would be their sense of peace. You
I
have to
agree.
understand that our peace, in an objective sense, it needs to be in a positive manner if it wants to be good peace. You can have bad peace.
And I think the fact that we're even doing this shows that deep down, I don't know where it comes from, maybe your upbringing or whatever, or whatever, some childhood trauma, but naturally our peace isn't being the average person, which is why we're on a podcast right now instead of recovering from a hangover. You know,
Yeah.
we're not meant to
Yeah.
be. It just depends on what your upbringing is and what your peace is, and innately your peace is going to be different than somebody else. Somebody might just be perfectly fine with smoking weed and putting a dab pen in their body and coupled with alcohol, and they're perfectly fine with that. But for us and the people probably watching this channel, if it hits you something different and you look around like, dang, I really don't like this. I'm not at peace here. I'm not okay with this. Then this is why you need to join the chamber. Really, because you're not, this is where you will find your peace because of whatever events you went through in your childhood, whatever brought you here. This is where you will find your peace if you feel totally resonated with the message and with this type of community. I guess it all depends.
Yeah, it does.
I do also say, I guess one big thing regarding with how people feel sad now, and I guess in a sense their life doesn't matter, is the whole concept of social media. People see everything through a screen and see people that are living lives unrecognizable to them, unfathomable to them. They see all these people doing things, great things, traveling anywhere, traveling places that they don't even know of. And every single time that keeps going up, scrolling, looking at it, you feel kind of, I know I did. I was like, damn, like, I want to do that too, but what am I doing? Like, I'm just here, like, there's nothing right now. And in that point of sense, they're not really living at the life at the moment they're living at right now. They're living at like a digital screen and seeing other people's lives. They're not
Yeah.
living at the moment and realizing, okay, that might not be it where I'm at right now. But at this moment, this is what I got. And I got to work with what I got. You know?
Mm-hmm. That idea of like sadness is so nuanced though, because like for me personally, it's like I've never been sad or like depressed because somebody's posting on, social media that they got this and they got that. Because I mean, I know those things exist. I know mad people got mad money. If I'm being honest with myself, it's like I can't be sad about that. But like I said, it's so nuanced because I remember before I guess I fell victim to that idea of like wanting to be sad at times. It was like, and that would really come from like the music I was listening to. I remember freshman year, and it would this is a bigger discussion really, but it really comes down to women for me. Like I remember my freshman year, sure, I was getting around, I was having my fun, but there's one girl I really wanted. I was simping, I was tripping. It was not good, and that that simping ID, that simping method, it only like brought me down because that's not in line with the inherent masculinity that I'm supposed to have, you know? And since it brought me down, it was almost like that feeling of that feminine feeling of thinking of that person on a constant basis, it made me sad. So I would listen to, slow R&B, and low key like it's a weird feeling. That feeling of like you're sad, but it's like, damn, you don't want to get out. It's almost it's like a cycle. And it's so I don't know if you guys have ever experienced that, man. But
Oh, yeah.
yo, I was I was going through it. I didn't
See,
like it, but I did like it. It was weird. That's why when people are like, okay,
Being sad
I'm
is
sad,
weird.
it's so weird. It's like I said, it's so nuanced. There's so many different things that go into it because it's like it's a negative feeling, but at the same time, there's some I don't know, but you get some dopamine out of it when you listen
Get
to
some satisfaction out of being sad, out of listening to. I don't
that
know. Yeah, I
music.
see what you're saying. Listen
Yeah,
to that
then
sad
like
music, like
you hear the
perpetuating more
lyrics.
sadness.
Yeah, perpetuated it. I'm like, yo,
yeah.
what's going on with me? I've never had this issue. And it's like, I don't know. It's it's a difficult concept to understand. That feeling of sadness. Okay, happy, you think happy, okay, it's gonna be smiling, people joyful. But people can be sad and still have that same outside shell of like happiness. It's so weird.
So sadness is an emotion, and it's something that's natural. It's naturally happens. Like sadness naturally occurs. Why? I guess we have to ask ourselves, why did God implement the emotion of sadness within us? And once
Mm,
we understand why sadness is within us, we have to have the mental fortitude to understand that, okay, when this emotion starts to occur, what can we do to change that? What can we do to flip the script? Oh, I'm starting to feel sad. Let me understand why and flip the script. It's almost maybe like it's a alarm mechanism. Like I start to feel sad. It starts to be like, for your example, over a girl, you start to feel sad over for that reason. If we were to look at it maybe as like if you're a machine, you're starting to decline in performance because of the reason the woman, okay, now we have to build some type of part on you, build some type of component to where you won't get sad over a woman over a girl because that's where you're lacking in emotional competence. So maybe sadness is more of like an indicator of like, okay, I need to build on this aspect of myself so that
mm,
I don't get sad again. That's just me.
ooh,
My bag for
yeah,
the
Okay,
I,
day.
that's a
I
good
think that's
point.
good.
That's a
That
good
was a good
point. But
point.
how many people truly think like that though? How many
Just
people
the
truly think that whenever they're sad, whenever they're angry, or whenever they're pissed off or whatever, that they actually transmute the energy and utilize it in a way in which that it benefits them, right? If I get angry, I'm going on a run. I'm going to the gym. I'm doing 500 push-ups, right? Hold on.
Yeah, I
but
mean,
no, I was gonna say also regarding with the sadness with Med, I felt the same way in like especially with the Mexican music. There's like Isla Bonamaro. I think Josh knows what I'm talking about.
Ooh,
Josh.
what's that mean?
No. That's a band, but
Oh, it's a
they have
band.
they have like two iconic songs where it's pretty sad, you know. It's like
gaste y sufre.
yeah, see Josh knows.
Ya
Josh knows
no
what I'm
me
talking
toco
about.
contigo.
Contigo.
Oh, that one.
Yo lo observo y
Mm,
pienso.
See, with that
I know that one.
Decepcionó.
with that song, I play that when something bad happened to me regarding with a girl, and
Yeah,
it made it feel even better, like how you guys are saying, like sadder in a sense.
yeah.
Yeah, sadder.
I
But it
felt
felt
yeah,
good. I don't know.
Like it's
like
weird.
sadder, and I was like, and I just couldn't get it off myself, and for days I just kept listening to the song, listening to the song, listening to the song, and back then realizing now the mindset I am now, and when I listen to the song, like I just skip it. I'm like, I don't. This isn't correlate to my life right now.
Yeah.
This song isn't what I believe in. And it's the same thing with any song in general, with guarding with like hip hop or any song that condones violence. It's like, why are you guys talking about killing when it's like there's no point in killing anybody, you know? You guys are just continuing the cycle of hatred. And
Mm.
and it just doesn't correlate to my values. So that's why I try to yeah, here and there I listen to hip hop, but for the most part it just doesn't correlate to my values and I just put it away, you know?
Mm.
Okay, so because as humans, what we want to do, we're creatures of habit. So once we feel that sadness, it's really easy to get into that loop that your body might be saying, okay, this is what we are now. We're just a sad creature. So it's easy to get into that loop to keep being sad. But whenever you grow, whenever growth happens, what do you have to do? You have to get uncomfortable. You have to accept uncomfort in order to grow. If you want to get bigger muscles, this is the easiest way to translate it in an understandable form. But if you want to get big muscles, you have to get uncomfortable and push more weight. I think the same thing, the same concept could be translated to building your mental fortitude. So when you get sad, you have to get uncomfortable in order to get stronger mental fortitude. In order, so you have to get uncomfortable because we're, like I said, we're creatures of habit. So when you get sad, it's the easy thing is to keep being more sad, more sad, more sad. But in order, but what being sad really is an alarm. Okay, now it's time for me to grow. So whenever I feel that, man, my heart got broken, dang, I could just either decide to keep being sad because we're creatures of habit. We're just going to keep being sad. That's just what we do as humans. Or you're going to have to know that, okay, this alarm went off. I'm sad. That means it's time for me to grow and get uncomfortable. So instead of being comfortable and perpetuating more sadness and listening to more sad music, I have to get uncomfortable, even though my heart just got broken, and I have to go
Yeah.
be happy. But that'll make me stronger because I got uncomfortable. I didn't resist the change. If you resist change, it's suffering. If you embrace the change, all this is getting a little bit uncomfortable, but you grow with it. It's growth.
Mm.
It's like adversity. That's what it is in a
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's most definitely like adversity.
And
But there you
so
go.
I know y'all are still on this topic. I apologize for having to leave. I had to go attend to something in the real world. But but yeah, so regarding on being sad and utilizing what Josh was really putting it in terms was utilizing that energy to assist yourself in life, and that change is always going to be something pretty difficult, right? But on the other side of that fear, on the other side of that change is growth in whatever aspect in which you see fit, whether it's spiritual growth, mental growth, physical growth, masculinity growth, if that's something. But there's always going to be something good coming out of change, and if you resist it, you suffer, as you said. And so I definitely do agree with that. And that's why it's so hard for people to change the way of how they think, how they act, how they do things. And going back to my friend who I was talking about, right? My intelligent friend, you know, the one who's historical, philosophical guy, right? Who I told to make a YouTube channel or some sort of content influencer, right? He fucking dislikes Tate. But look at his life. Plays video games, beats his meat, smokes weed. He doesn't do anything that benefits himself. No wonder you don't like Tate because he's trying to
Of course.
push, of course you don't like him, right? So this is gonna expand the point of what we're on of how change is extremely difficult, but it's worth it. And people hate change, such as my friend who I was talking about. He dislikes Tate, and Tate's always about change, about bettering yourself as a man, how nobody's coming to save you, how you have to think that you're the man, how that every single thing that you say has to be concrete, and you have to play by, you have to do what you say and say what you do. But there are people who dislike that because they dislike change. And so it's a very sad world. And he's in his 20s, early 20s. He's about the same age as us as well. So it goes to show how much of a population of young men out there truly do think like that. You know, because it's very degrading.
Yeah. The same could be said for Kevin Samuels before he died. Like I remember people used to hate on that man. And he
People
just
were
be
like, yeah,
I used to hate
straight.
him.
You used to
I
hate
used to
Kevin Samuels?
I
There's
don't
no
know,
way.
like no, I don't know if hate, but it's just like
He was too
he
clean
was
to be
he was
hated. Like,
clean. He was clean. He was clean. I cannot lie, he was clean. But this was before, guys, keep in mind, I'm barely new at this too, I I haven't joined I didn't join the Origins like how Namdi and Josh started it. I barely in here almost a year. Yeah, about to be a year. But before I joined, I don't know. I don't know if I hated him, but it's just like me seeing myself like I guess not being as great as him. It's like jealousy in a sense. That's like the type of hate, I guess. Because
That's
the way
Well,
he
Okay.
was
and that
both
hate's
I,
pretty common. It's pretty common, I can't really bag on you for that,
Yeah.
Like a lot of people think like that for NFL stars or NBA stars or celebrities in general. So it's like
Hmm.
that's common, you know.
Yeah.
But I liked his message. I definitely think he did good for the red pill masculinity side of the internet. And rest in peace. It's very sad that he passed away. And the fact that people glorified his death is
that
what
was
shows sickness in this
that was
world,
crazy.
especially
Crazy.
with Tate and how people thought he had cancer. Oh, hey, cancer, cancer, go, cancer, go. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, that was crazy, bro.
What are you
I
talking
don't know.
about?
I don't know whose mind or who. Well, there are people that think like this, but them thinking that like having a person be killed or for them to die is a
It's
great thing.
good.
It's a great thing. I'm like, come on. If you want to be, I guess, in a sense, equal to it, you can't wish death upon a person
Anybody,
facts,
bro.
that you
facts.
don't even know
Unless they
because you're
deserve
wishing.
it. Unless they actually truly deserve it,
Yeah,
because what goes around comes around, and God will punish the perpetrators because the
Yeah.
truth is coming to light. You know what I'm
Every time.
saying? So if they deserve it, Hitler deserved
but
it. He killed millions of people. You
but
know,
even then, with like
Killed
people
himself.
that wish that wished upon death to Andrew Tate and then to Kevin Samuels, they're wishing that they're putting that hateful energy. They're putting negative energy
projecting.
out there, projecting, and like correlating to their life. Their life probably sucks because
No,
the way
it's a fact that it
Yeah.
sucks.
it's
Yeah.
probably, yeah, it sucks just because the way they're projecting energy out there, the energy's gonna come right back to them.
Exactly.
I
You
agree.
Exactly.
just gotta
It- It's just the crazy thing about that is like all that they're doing is putting the power back into the hands of men. Now, what that goes to show is that they hate men. Like they talk about misogyny. No, oh, they just trying to empower us, and now you wish death upon them. How crazy is that? Why? No, it's not even crazy. I can understand because they want the power for themselves. They want everybody to be fucking sheep, to be weak as hell, listen to every single rule that is implemented without question. A woman can do this, that, and this, that, and you can't say nothing about it. That's crazy to me. Nah, I can't let any power be relinquished from my end and put on somebody else's hands, and they get to have the power over me. Screw that. If they can wish death upon us just for that shit, nah, we got to fight back. This is the fight back. Y'all talk about the Matrix. This is a war. Now I see what before they used to talk about war, I did not understand it, but now I do. Like it's deep.
I
It's not
believe
as. Go ahead.
I was gonna say in terms of the war, I believe we already won. We're already fighting it because they're losing their mental war. Over reading the subconscious, the book about the subconscious, it's so obvious when people they say they hate Andrew Tate or they hate Kevin Samuels, they want them to die. They're so angry that those people have money. The book literally says for a person that's envious and a person that's jealous, they will never have what that person has. Why? Because they put in their subconscious to be
That they
envious
can't
over
get
that
it.
person, that they can't get it. They lost, they made themselves lose. They checked themselves out the game. So whenever you see anybody with money, even if it's some rapper who got money because he robbed a bank, don't be mad, don't be jealous, don't be envious because what goes around comes around. So no matter how the
Exactly.
person got the money, this is what the book says. If you really want to become wealthy, and this is very good knowledge to have for anybody watching this, learn how to be at a point in acceptance with yourself to the point where you don't get mad at anybody who has more money than you. You just be happy for them, or you just don't care. I don't care. They have more money, but I can get money too. Because if you
Exactly.
get to that envious state, and this can be applied to anything, this guy has bigger muscles. This guy has more girls. This guy has more this. If you get to that envious state, what you don't realize is that you put yourself at a point where I'm not going to have that. So I just got to be stuck envying him. So whatever it comes, if you want something that another dude has, be happy that he got it, because that means you can get it too.
Exactly. Just tell yourself, I'm gonna get that too. I remember I showed you the guy on my phone with the watches with the timepieces. 800K timepieces, 1.5 million timepiece. Patek Philippe. I ain't hate on him. I don't know how he got his money. I'm not gonna hate on him. He don't know me. But what I am gonna say is, I'm gonna get me one of them too. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be
Mhm.
having two. I'm gonna have one of them, but two of them, three. Come on, man, it's a case. You gotta put that out there. You gotta tell yourself you can't. All he's doing is sure he's flexing, but he's flexing to show you what you can get too. He's not flexing saying that you can't get it. He never said you can't get it. That's the thing. Like people just have to be more positive in their mindset when they're thinking about what they can achieve and not even say can. I'm not even gonna say the other end. I was gonna say what they can achieve, but you can achieve anything you want to. Just don't hate people for it. Don't hate them
Simple.
for what?
It's
What is that gonna do?
It's like the corny stuff that we were told in school, like the golden rule and stuff that we all, yeah, whatever, treat people how you want to be treated, but yeah,
Yeah,
whatever. But that truly is of essence of what you need to adopt as your mindset in order to get what you want. Treat people how you want to
yeah.
be treated. Like if
Talk
you're
about the
wealthy,
golden
you
rule.
wouldn't want people looking at you, man. Screw him. He did this. He doesn't deserve that money. He's just talking on the Champions Chamber podcast. That's not real work. Come on, bro.
No, I don't want that. I want you to be like,
Be
hey,
happy.
oh, exactly.
Yeah. You should be happy that, oh, this kid made $500,000 off of crypto dump. Good for him. That's dope.
Exactly.
This means it's easy money nowadays.
Yeah.
I wonder how I can get mine too. That's all you
Yeah, exactly.
And it's the same
Yeah.
thing. That's why I feel bad, like to be in a level where you're famous and having all that hatred towards you. A lot of people don't realize that's a toll on an individual, you know. And
Yeah.
everybody, you can see any celebrity. You can put on, I can say any celebrity right now to 100 different people, and they'll at least, I don't know the exact number, but a good amount of them will hate him. You know, there'll be something that they hate him about, and it's just like, why are you hating somebody? Like how you guys saying, if it doesn't correlate to you, you know, even if they quote unquote didn't work for their money, all right, they're getting money. I'm gonna work my ass to get my own money, and I'm gonna do better. Even if
Exactly.
they were brought up and handed the money, I'm like, okay, fine, that's good for them. But for me, I'm gonna work for it, and I'm gonna have actual experiences with the journey where I got to be. Yeah,
You're gonna be satisfied with it because you got it.
Yeah. I think
Hate
that's where
is
the true satisfaction comes in the journey. Because if you picture yourself right now, if you close your eyes, picture yourself and you have everything that you're working towards right now, it's kind of like, what's next? I guess
yeah.
it's kind of like, what's next? But the fun part, the part that you'll tell your kids, the part that you'll tell your kids is the journey, you know?
Yeah.
That's what you're gonna tell your kids. You're not gonna. They're gonna see the fruits of your labor. What you have to do is tell them the tree that was a stump. You gotta tell them the journey to then, or somebody tried to chop the tree down before the fruits came, or
Yeah.
somebody tried to put some fertilizer to destroy the fruits, but you stopped it. That's the fun part. That's the part where you're gonna tell the
Yeah.
story because they see the fruits. Okay, this is cool, but what'd you do to get this? And that's when you tell the stories. That's the fun part. That's sort of the fun is in the journey.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
remember Josh always used to say, it's like GTA when you got all the money in the game.
Yeah. Then
It's
the game's
like,
boring.
okay, yeah, you put GTA up, I'm done. But before you had all the money, you was doing all the heists, all the missions, it's had all that fun with your friends. That's the stuff you remember, but you don't remember buying the jet like 6 times because it's your sixth jet. You don't care.
Yeah, who cares?
Who cares? Okay.
Once you beat GTA, GTA is just like life, you know? You could stop at the red light if you wanted to and not cause any
Nah.
trouble.
Nah, for real.
You did not cause
Oh
any trouble.
man, that was
But
crazy. But hate is, I don't know, hate is just heavy, man. That's why it starts with the H, I guess. Hate is heavy. You can't keep on
So-
carrying that stuff.
So I guess in my mind, the best way of learning anything or to teach anybody to learn anything is to not teach them at all. You know,
Let them
How do you mean?
experience it.
let them, like how Josh was saying right now, let them experience it. Tell them, I guess, the backbone, but not enough to build the whole body, you know? Just like
Yeah.
the foundation.
Okay.
Be like, okay, this you do this, and this makes this. Go.
I do
I like
agree.
that.
I agree that to let them experience it, but to a certain point, like there's that quote, smart man learns from his mistakes, but a wise man learns
Wise
from the
man.
mistakes of
Mhm.
others.
Mhm.
There are some things that you could tell some people like, hey, don't do this, don't do this. If they don't listen, okay, they'll learn it from them, they'll learn it themselves. But you can't say I didn't tell you. Like, hey, bro,
Yes, I did too.
you probably shouldn't be drinking from 2 o'clock in the day till 2 a.m. at night. Probably not good for you. Man, fuck you, man. You don't like to have fun. All right. Okay. That's it.
Dang.
You know?
Next thing you in the hospital.
Next thing you know, yeah, they're 27 and they look like they're 40. What happened, bro?
Ooh.
That's
With a
sad.
beer belly, beer gut.
Bill belly. It's like, dang, bro.
Ugh.
I'm sorry. I tried to tell you. But one thing that I have realized, and what made me realize this? I forgot. But results speak. So if you're in a position where you have results, people are going to listen to you a lot more. Like people are going to listen to you substantially more if you have results, which is why if you really want to teach people, the best way for them to listen is to have results, which is why if Andrew Tate was a homeless dude saying all that shit, would he be as big as he is now?
Not
No.
at all.
We're listening to him because he's driving a big jet and he has a Bugatti and he has the 10 women on his yacht or whatever. But that's results of what really makes people want to listen. So if people aren't listening to you, like for example, Namdi, people aren't listening to your friends, just stop trying to tell them. That could be more motivation for you to like, okay, let me build up so they'll listen to me. Now they might listen to you if you had 100,000 on YouTube and you sold them your analytics and you're making 15K a month of just YouTube passive income. You're making 15K a month just through YouTube. Then he'll be like, oh shit, I'm gonna listen to you. How do I get big, bro? How do I get big on YouTube?
Yeah.
But since he just sees you now saying that, he's just, yeah, man, whatever. I'm not gonna start that channel, bro. But man, whatever. All right, man. All right. But if you want to learn how to do it later, you're gonna have to buy the course.
I think it's
You're gonna have
also
to
in
buy
a
some
sense in
coaching.
which that what happened?
Nah, I just said what he said.
But regarding what you said, I think it's in a sense of that there's definitely potential in him. I see potential in him, and I know because of his wittiness, how smart and intelligent he is. He can pull something from 1854 from the back of his head that we can probably remember from fucking middle school, but not really recall as much as he can recall it, you know? And so there's so much capability and potential in him, which is why I'm saying he should do some sort of YouTube channel, right? But I don't think he really sees the vision. And I don't think he sees the vision because he's never really pushed himself past his limits, past his mental and physical limits to see some sort of growth and traction. So I see potential in
Oh
him,
man.
but if he doesn't see potential in himself, then he's done. It's kaput.
Yeah. He's got to believe in himself first.
Agree.
I mean, and in a sense too, he might feel a bit annoyed by you. Just I don't know how many times you told him about making a YouTube channel.
Like
and
once
just-
or twice, bro.
Okay, but at the same time, it's like them. If you tell somebody, "Oh, let's keep doing like I should do this. I should do this. I should do that," they start not liking it. You know, they start being annoyed by it. And
Mm.
at the same time, you just gotta understand that okay, they're not understanding what I'm trying to tell them, and that's fine. Later on, once something happens to their life and they think back to what I told them, they'd be like, oh shit. Okay, now I know why he said that. Because of this exact moment. Oh man. Now I see him doing all these great things. I should have listened to him back then. You know? And
Mm.
if they do reach out, whoever reaches out,
He's
whoever
got
I
to buy
tell
the
them
course.
advice, hey,
He's got to
hey,
join
they
the
could
membership.
join it, but at the same time, I wouldn't mind giving my hand out, helping him out for a little bit, and then, you know, if they want to continue doing their other things, then I'm not gonna push that much energy to it just because, we gotta do other stuff. I gotta basically serve millions of people, not just one person. I can't. That's not the mission for all of us. We gotta serve millions.
Yeah, big time. But I mean, your friend though, Nambi, yeah, he could if he gets started, he could get some traction because I watch history YouTube stuff all the time. Like it could be history or alternate history. I find interest in that. I'd be one of his subscribers. You, you might have to tell him that he got someone that might
Bro,
watch
even
his stuff.
art, even art history, you
Yeah,
know? I watch a lot of art history videos. So it's like there's a market in that.
yeah. I don't know.
Facts.
People just got I don't know, believe in themselves and see the vision. But if they don't, they don't. Maybe just not this time.
And the fact that you tried to tell him what he might be irritated by. I had a deep journal entry last night, and I wrote in my notes. And this could be like our last topic for today, as my podcast idea. But it's why groups fail, why friend groups fail. And I thought about it last night I was like, why do friend groups fail? The reason why I thought about this is because last night we had a whole day, like Med said, whole day full of fun, getting to know each bonding. And towards the end of the night, we turned on the video game. I'm not a big proponent of video games. I don't own one. But, whatever. I'll play for video games. This day is just going to be a full day of relaxation, I guess. And as we turn on the video game, collectively, we were all looking for a game in which we all could play. And we were spending so much mental, okay, this game won't work. Okay, this game won't work. Okay, this game won't work. And as I was sitting there thinking, I was like, what if we spent this collective energy trying to solve an issue, trying to build a business? What if we spent this collective energy doing something else? And then that brought me to the point where I was like, okay, well, what is this group founded upon? Why are we even friends? We're friends because we found similar interests of pleasure in the first place. So if I were to even bring up the notion to them that, hey, let's just stop doing this and let's all think about working, like working in their eyes would be working. Let's all think about building something. They would be like, well, bro, like what?
What are you
It
talking
wouldn't
about?
work. That's not what your friendship. That's not what your group friendship is even founded upon. So
Yeah.
why would you guys? Why would they listen to you, Josh? I had to tell me why would they even listen to you? They would look at you as stupid, bro. That's not what we're even friends for. We're friends because we all like to do this. And this whole that whole, and I start to think that wow, this is deep. And I listened to a podcast of Jordan Peterson last night talking about relationships and why those fail, and why those fail if you live with your wife before you guys get married, and why most of those relationships fail. And I started to think this applies to that too. What did you even start dating your girlfriend for? Was it for pleasure, or is it because you were lonely? Okay, well, if you're not lonely anymore, you have a group of guys. What are you gonna do? Break up with her? You have to. So then, that's maybe why religious marriages work so, because they found their marriage based off religion. Maybe that's why those work so much. They have such a lower divorce rate.
Wait,
So you have to understand with your relationships
was that point from
why,
Jordan B. Peterson?
huh?
Was that point from Jordan B. Peterson?
Uh, I kind of developed it on my own. He just had a lot of stuff pointing towards why marriages fail before before when a couple lives together before they get married, and then they get married, those marriages tend to fail.
Hmm.
And he was going into points on why those marriages tend to fail and stuff like that. And yeah, that I was just that kind of the reason why I bring that up now. And it was in my podcast ideas. So I was like, this is a good little way to steer it is because your friend didn't want to listen to you. But what is y'all's friendship based upon? What are y'all even friends for in the first place? Is it based
High school
why'd y'all
friends.
high school friends?
Yeah,
But what
that's
were you
it.
doing in high school? Playing video games?
Playing video games, acting like a high
Exactly.
schooler.
So
Yeah.
like it's almost unfair. You almost get to a point where it's unfair of you to even ask that of him because bro, that's not why y'all are friends. Y'all are friends because you guys both like Fortnite in high school.
But the grand scheme was that I want to see people who I know win, right? And so if I see
Yeah.
people who have potential and capability to win, then I want to light that fire within them. Like, yo, I believe that you can do this because of X. I believe you can do X because of Y. You are very smart with philosophy, you know, a lot about history. There is a market in that on YouTube, you know. You can easily just put 3 to 5 videos a day, or not a day, but a week. You can make short form content on TikTok or on YouTube Shorts about some history event that you never knew happened, explosion, this and that. You know what I'm saying? Just make it seem enticing for somebody to click on it. You can do that, bro. But I guess
He
he just
could.
he
And
just
to
wants
us,
to
that sounds
conform.
plausible. To us, that sounds, oh, that's cool, bro. Yeah, I'll do that. But to him,
It's
he's
work.
damn Namdi changed, bro. I wish he was like
Work.
the Namdi in high school, bro. Namdi changed. Here he comes on this
Nowadays.
bullshit talking about start a business. Here he goes again. Why are you just
I,
like the high school Namdi?
That's what I was
I just
talking
want to
about with my
smoke,
other
bro.
friend too,
Just want
bro.
to smoke.
Like I was on a walk with my other friend after work, you know, he was talking about like, bro, like, dude, like, you know, he's just finding like a job like after college, bro. And I'm like, bro, did y'all hear about that Silicon Valley Bank got disrupted or got dismantled 2 days ago? $209 billion vanished in thin air, bro. Silicon Valley Bank, the second largest bank failure in US history. And this guy's worrying about a job after college. You have to understand that the internet has given us power to obtain knowledge in the snap of a finger. You can easily make however much you can. You can make a doctor's salary on the internet in a week, bro. It is extremely possible because there are people who have done it. I was trying to open that channel of thought for him, and I guess he was listening, but it probably just went one ear out the other, right? Because people, especially dudes our age, bro, it's like if you are in your early 20s and you're a teenager, bro, if you're 16 living in 2023, you're in the best position because one, your brain hasn't fully developed yet. Our brains have not fully developed yet, but you are in a great position to learn new things, high payable skills to get you paid by the time you're 20, and you'll be free by the time you're 20. A lot of people I know are so restricted to reality and how you're supposed to be seen as an adult. Oh, graduate, go get a good job, and then retire when you're 60. That whole 9 yard thing, right? It's like it's hard to open up that channel of thought for these people, man. It's really hard because I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen with my own eyes. So all you need to know is that it's possible. Because when it's possible, you'll do whatever you can to make sure that it comes into fruition for yourself. That's all. That's it.
But it just goes back to saying how that's not his interest. It's sad to say it. It's like even if you want, you know that he could do it, and you just want to see your people win. If they're not passionate about it, then you can't just annoy him, because then after a certain time, they're just gonna be like, "Yeah, I'm not gonna talk to him anymore because he keeps talking about this. He keeps trying to make me do this, even though I don't want to." And that's how life is, man. Later on, you will realize, okay, I see why Namdi did that. I see why Namdi was trying to do that for me. Let me hit him up now and see if he could help me out. Let me see if he's available to talk. You know?
Yeah.
So I'll tell him. I'll ask him what his issue is, like what he's working with right now. All right, and then I'll tell him to buy the course.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
I'll give it to him on discount.
Just
0.25 Bitcoin.
Buy the course. But this should be extremely motivating.
oh wait.
First
I was
chip.
gonna say like I remember Josh. You sent a video a couple months ago about the champagne friend or beer friends, wine friends, and champagne.
Yeah.
Remember that tier list? And that
Yeah.
goes back to your friend group, whatever you are, whoever's listening, your friend group, the people you're around with, you got to categorize them. There's going to be people that you talk to that have different values, different interests than the people you talk to on a normal basis. And realizing that, okay, this friend group just likes to party. And if I feel like partying, I'm gonna go with them. This friend group likes to talk about, I guess, philosophy. And if I want to talk about that, if I want to learn about more philosophy, I'm gonna go with them. This friend group is about self-development, and I'm all into self-development. That's my main thing. I'm gonna spend my most of my time, majority of the time with them because I want to be at a better spot, better place than I am right now.
Right.
So it's just realizing to whoever's listening, who are the people around you? Why are you guys together? Why are you guys talking to each other? Like, what brought y'all together? And once you realize that, then you're able to see other people around you that have better interests, that have, I guess, in a better state of mind that you are really want to be at, and you want to talk to them without forgetting the people that that you grew up with. Just realizing, okay, hey, they're part of the beer group. I'll hang out with them like, once a week and party, do whatever. But for the most of the time, I want to be with the self development group. I want to change my life.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like it's also being selective of who you hang out with because, as you said, everybody's in some sort of category, right? There's going to be the people who you can party with. There's going to be the people who you can go out and travel with. There are going to be people who you can play video games with, smoke with, etc. But there's also people who you can improve with, work out with, make money with, etc. And I mean, if Tate was in here, he'd be saying to only exist or only associate yourself with people whom you want to better yourself in. So if you want to make more money, associate yourself with people who are already making the type of money that you're trying to make. Because if you were to hang out with them months on end, you will learn all their ideologies. You will learn how they think. You will learn their beliefs. You will learn the ways and methods on how they create wealth out of thin air. So it's about being truly selective, but it's also being at the right place at the right time, finding yourself in that position, right? Because not a lot of people are near individuals who are wanting to better themselves. Okay, what do you need to do? All right, if I want to better myself, where would the first place I would go to? The gym, right? You're gonna find people because trust me, I always like to conversate with people when I'm at the gym, especially if it's like people who I know are getting after it, right? And then this might give me my last point. I had a conversation a couple of weeks ago at the rec. I saw this dude flexing, and he was like doing some cool like flexes. Like he's not just doing the average fucking Joe Smo flexes. Like he knew how to like do bodybuilding posing and all that. And so I went up to him and his guy, and he's like, "Yo, what's up? What's good with y'all?" And one of them was from A&M, and the other one was doing community college, and the other one's dad was a pro bodybuilder, and like so he knows, and he's gonna and the guy too was gonna do bodybuilding as well, like physique shows and all that. And I'm like, damn, okay, cool. And like they're also posting content on Instagram and TikTok. And like they were telling me, like, bro, you should just post content, bro. Like all you gotta do is have a personality. You know what I'm saying? Like these are the type of people I want to associate myself with because they understand and know how things operate, right? And so if I were to hang out with them for 4 weeks producing content, I would definitely go from zero to probably like 500 to like probably 1,500 in 4 weeks. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, but it's like they had the energy, they had the drive, you can feel it. So the gym is the very first place if you want to find people who want to better themselves. Other than that, you can try a library. Mostly just going to be students studying, after a hangover, after doing godless things the day before, maybe. But the gym's always the way to go.
Or
You know what I'm
even
saying?
even like we bash on it online too. You find people that are talking the way you want to talk about or know certain topics, and ask them a question, hit them on a direct message, and be like, "Hey, how do you learn about this? How do you do this?" And you just conversate with people that's a person all the way across the country. You know,
Facts. Or you just join the chamber.
We just joined the chamber.
join the champions chamber.
Join the chamber.
And it's
How
a
can
requirement.
they
It's a
join the
requirement
chamber?
for everyone to have black shirts. If you do not have a black T-shirt, you cannot join the Champions Chamber. You must have a black shirt, and it must be fitted. It must be fitted.
So ass nigga. Ooh, stop playing with him. How can they
But
join the chamber? How can they? Who do they talk to?
Discord.
What do they do?
Discord. Once we hit 1,000 subscribers, we will be making a Discord. But other than that, you can hit up the Champions Chamber email. It will be linked into the description.
Yeah, if anyone has any questions or any comments or any topics of things that you want us to talk about in a future podcast, then just jot it down. We may even, as I don't know whose idea it was, we may even add you in here, and then we'll probe your brain. You'll probe ours, you know, or we'll have your comment on the top of the video, on the top of the call, so that it's the topic at hand. We'll deal with that with editing or something, but yeah, so
That would be clean.
yeah, it would.
Let's get some more people in here. Add some more members to the chamber. Add some more champions.
I'm trying to talk to some foreigners, you know, like some dude from fucking buttfuck Kazakhstan, you know.
Dude,
No,
you probably jabbed at an actual country though. You never know.
All right, I know people from Kazakhstan, so it's like I don't have issues with Kazakhstani people, if that's the word.
yeah, you on a tightrope today, man. You on thin ice. You started with the rice
bro,
boys.
I might as well get canceled. Cancel me. I don't care.
Cancel him.
Cancel me. I can't
Cancel
be
him.
canceled. I'm everywhere.
We gonna hit without get canceled. Ooh.
Cancel
Go to what's
me.
the other YouTube thing? You saw the ad, Josh. Rumble or
Rumble. Everybody
Yeah.
join Rumble. The Champions Chamber is going to be on Rumble very soon. This is where we'll be able to express our ideas at 100% capacity. YouTube is dying. YouTube is failing. Rumble is definitely the way to go.
I was gonna say Patreon later on,
Patreon
but
later on.
I don't know about
OnlyFans.
Rumble.
Hey,
Whoa.
don't sleep on Rumble, bro.
Whoa.
Don't sleep on Rumble.
Whoa, you're
Don't
not
sleep
here,
on
man?
Rumble.
You didn't hear, man?
I don't think they heard me.
What'd you say?
I said OnlyFans. We could charge them, man.
I
We
mean,
could charge them.
Hey,
DDG did do an OnlyFans like for YouTube, like learning how to like get famous on YouTube. So we can definitely do
Exactly.
something in like some but it's on the right site, bro.
I know.
Definitely do some other subscription
on
service.
Patreon.
You can do some other, yeah,
Patreon.
it's Patreon. Patreon's better.
OnlyFans has a negative connotation.
A
With
big negative connotation. That's why I
You
said
know.
oh, I don't know,
You
man.
know.
If you want to join that, you could join that, man. That's all you, man. Whoa.
it.
Hey, yo.
Another revenue? Come on.
Oh.
OnlyFans.
Oh shoot.
But if this podcast were to do anything for you guys today, it should motivate everyone watching, everybody participating that the Champions Chamber is through the top. It's going through the atmosphere. It's going to the top. Why? Because we know what this group is founded upon. When I had that discovery last night about groups being founded upon whatever it be pleasure, whatever it be lust or whatever, I thought about the Champions Chamber. And I reflected to myself, what is the Champions Chamber founded upon? Growth. And I smiled. I didn't just smile, but I laughed. We already won. We already won because of what we're founded. We don't have to go up and dig up the foundation and put in different foundation, which is what some people might have to do with their relationships or their friendships because they realize it was founded upon BS. Us, we put the right foundation on, the right fertilizer on. Now we just grow.
I think
Right.
it's super villain.
That concludes today's episode. You know, another banger for all of y'all who's watching. We just like to thank all of y'all, give y'all your time, and make sure to like and subscribe. You know, leave a comment down low. Tell us what you thought, and men, champions.
To the guns, huh?
Ah!